Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Durban, South Africa drove 11 hours to Port Elizabeth to help those in need. And a small portable press helps Tzu Chi volunteers in Puli, Nantou deal with their recycled PET bottles. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Dennis Wu. Thank you for joining us. Kicking off today's program in the Philippines. Local Tzu Chi chapter's rice distribution in Valenzuela city of Metro Manila came just in time for many families in need.
Lifting two 20-kilogram bags of rice onto his head, Emiliano Banas is helping people in Valenzuela city carry their rice, despite not having the strength to grab on with his right hand.
Only my right hand is without strength, but I'm still able to do many things, so I'm happy to be able to help, especially now since it's only 1 or 2 sacks of rice. I'm able to carry them, so I'm really happy.
Though with his right arm injured and the left side of his body scarred, Emiliano's heart remains compassionate. For Delia Aquino and her family, this rice from Taiwan arrived just in time, as they had run out of food to eat.
I was so happy that I was given this rice because it's so timely. We no longer have rice to cook later for lunch, so this rice will be what I will cook. Thank you very much, Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation.
After learning to say thanks using sign language, these recipients quickly demonstrated what they have learned and also prayed sincerely. Residents then donated their spare change of recyclables to reciprocate Tzu Chi's kindness. Despite being poor, the residents of Valenzuela City still knows to appreciate all they have in life and do their part as well.
Next to South Africa, Tzu Chi volunteers in Durban continue to further the charity's footsteps, despite the numerous obstacles and problems they have had to face. We now join them as they travel 1,000 kilometers to Port Elizabeth to help the needy. This diabetic adds his voice to the volunteers, as together everyone sings a song of hope and healing. Volunteers offer rice for the family in hopes the extra nutrition will help alleviate the seniors' suffering. Singing once again, the volunteers make their way to their next care recipient's home.
Sometimes when we visit families, people will ask if by doing Tzu Chi they will get compensated. We tell them that being a volunteer is about helping others, helping them leave their pain and suffering behind.
For this trip, Durban volunteers traveled as far as Port Elizabeth, which lies 1,000 kilometers and over 11 hours to the south. Through experience, volunteers have learned to solve problems without the need for money. While using this hotel's kitchen, volunteers got to know Gloria, a bed and breakfast employee who hopes to one day be a volunteer herself and who invited the volunteers to stay with her.
Thank you very much, Sishu, because our poor people, you gave them something because they are poor, they are suffering. But they promise you, Sishu, to work with you and to work hard.
Like usual, the morning starts with the Master's Dharma for spiritual nourishment. In this volunteer's home, local residents learn that Tzu Chi's great love is the same as that of the Christian church, as volunteers call for an end to prejudice and the need for action. Such love and community action is found not far away in the soup kitchen for orphans, as volunteers continue to bring love where love is needed. With temperatures getting colder in the northern hemisphere, Tzu Chi volunteers in China are preparing for the upcoming winter relief distributions across the country, which are about 3 months away. To make sure those on the receiving end get the aid they need, be it winter relief supplies or Tzu Chi scholarships, volunteers conduct home visitations and personally get to know each family on the receiving end.
Tzu Chi volunteers check on a care recipient in Nanjing, Fujian, and comfort the family's distressed young daughter.
Hardships are but temporary, and sometimes hardships can help pave the way to prosperity, right?
The volunteers plan to help 1,186 families during this year's winter relief distribution and are therefore conducting home visitations 3 months beforehand.
We'll make sure no stone is unturned and visit each family in need to deliver our love and support. We want to encourage them to deal with their troubles and reignite their passion to live.
Using their vacation time, the volunteers break down the home visitations into 8 different trips. And each time, the deputy president of a local charity also tags along.
Whether the aid that we give will fulfill their needs, or whether those on the receiving end are truly qualified to receive assistance, can only be answered through home visitations.
And through witnessing others' plight, the volunteers have learned to cherish their blessings.
When my son came home and saw those pictures, he was silent. Before, he used to complain about what we don't have. But after seeing the pictures, he said, "Mom, we're really fortunate and blessed."
After completing the visitations, volunteers promise to return once again in winter with relief supplies for these families in need. To the north, in northern Jiangsu, Tzu Chi volunteers are also visiting students due to receive Tzu Chi scholarships. Though these low-income families cannot afford to pay their children's tuition, they are willing to do everything they can to keep their children in school. Tzu Chi's scholarship aid helps sustain their dream.
The mom is very optimistic. Although because of her physical problem, she can't go outside and work. She keeps a healthy spirit, which can be more important than physical health.
Zhang Lili's father works as a manual laborer. Her mother is both deaf and mute. She still has a younger brother in elementary school. The family is not well off at all.
I've learned to be brave and cope with hardships in life.
Seeing that young children are not beaten by their predicament, Tzu Chi volunteers are even more driven to offer their aid.
Mr. Yi lives in a dilapidated home in Keelung, Taiwan that is over 60 years old. However, the home was severely damaged by Typhoon Sodalor and was in need of repairs. After much communication, Mr. Yi finally agreed to let Tzu Chi help repair his house in August. Let's visit his new house now that construction is complete.
The exposed roof and rotting wooden screen makes this home in Keelung seem like it is abandoned, but Mr. Yi and his family actually still live here. Clearing this home of its belongings, Tzu Chi volunteers are giving it a much-needed makeover.
Our main goal is to fix the roof and the leaks so that the homeowners can feel safe inside their home.
The volunteers know that this long construction project is one in which it is worth participating.
The typhoons have been strong this year. We were worried about his safety, so we kept communicating with him until he gave us permission. We have also prepared the furniture inside.
The volunteers even prepared a big batch of glutinous rice dumplings.
I won't be as worried about the wind and rain seeping through now. I can sleep soundly.
Knowing the homeowners are happy, the volunteers relish the joy of knowing they helped to achieve that.
In Daja, Taichung, Ms. He single-handedly raises 3 children, including her youngest son Ye Jiazhen, who was once emotionally insecure. But after Tzu Chi volunteers' years of companionship and support, the boy has matured and is reciprocating. Here's more.
On the weekend, Tzu Chi volunteers visited Ms. He and her sons. Ms. He's youngest son, Ye Jiazhen, is a 9th grader who was once emotionally unstable. Fortunately, he has changed a lot over the years.
Winter and summer, Jiazhen gets up while we are still sleeping and hangs the laundry on the 3rd floor.
Ms. He says that Jiazhen does household chores to make sure she does not overwork. The volunteers also noticed that Ms. He's children are very understanding.
These children are quite obedient. When their mother said they should contribute to society, they listened patiently.
Caring for 3 children is emotionally draining, so the volunteers have been giving Ms. He and her children spiritual support over the years. Currently, Ms. He brings Jiazhen to the recycling station on weekends. Jiazhen has gotten along with other volunteers at the recycling station and become more stable emotionally. Ms. He appreciates Tzu Chi volunteers, and she hopes that she and her children may also reach out to other less fortunate people soon.
More than 3 months have passed since the tragic Formosa Fun Coast water park dust explosion in Bali, New Taipei City. As burn victims get discharged from hospitals, Tzu Chi volunteers who have been at their side since the disaster continue with their victim support program by checking on these victims regularly. We now join one such visit. In mid-August, Huang Jiahui could still only lie in her hospital bed in the Taipei Veterans Hospital. Yet the athlete in her has forced her to start on rehabilitation already. By mid-October, her arms, covered in pressure garments, can complete even more tasks. Now that she has been discharged from the hospital, Jiahui spends 5 days a week on rehabilitation at the Sunshine Foundation. She also plans on going back to graduate school in November. As for the donations that came from her fellow Taekwondo athletes since her accident, she has found a better use for them.
I want to donate the money to a Taekwondo dojo in Shuling so athletes can go on competitions. That was where I first started learning Taekwondo.
After months of supporting the victims of the Bali water park explosion and their families, Northern District's Tzu Chi volunteers are now a part of their family. Though Wu Xinlong lives in Keelung, volunteers from Siling and Tianmu have come to visit her.
I am really grateful to Tzu Chi volunteers for keeping my mother and the rest of my family company at the beginning, when most of us were unconscious most of the time.
You know your mother. She did not dare leave your side. She would sit outside of the ward and knock on the nurse's door from time to time to check on your condition. She just couldn't stop worrying.
The love that poured in from the public after the incident has helped the family to cope with the situation.
Yes, we're truly grateful. I feel that way every minute and every second. I can't find a better way to describe my feelings. Love and resources just pour in from people you knew and people you didn't.
Learning to embrace their blessings, Xinrong is encouraged by her mother to continue her interest in children's education. Northern Tima members held another bi-monthly free clinic for Taiwan's foreign caregivers and laborers on October 12th. The medical outreach program continues to benefit these foreigners who have helped make our lives easier.
Northern Tima members held another free clinic for Taiwan's foreign workers at Taipei train station.
Of course, I feel awful losing my mother.
Indonesian worker Hamida, who has been working in Taiwan for 3 years, came to seek medical attention because her mother had recently passed away. In Taiwan, there are 580,000 foreign workers like Hamida who work away from home. They often become emotionally fragile once they fall ill or learn of bad news back home. Tima members are aware of their vulnerability.
We are grateful to these foreign friends who care for our families. Not all of them are fortunate enough to have good employers. So when we see that they are helpless or learn that they are having sleeping problems, our hearts go out to them.
After Hamida's consultation, the volunteers help her to register for further treatment at a hospital.
Thank you very much. You are very nice, very good.
Even though working in a foreign country can be physically and emotionally draining, the support of Tzu Chi volunteers has brought familiar warmth to these foreign workers, so they know they will never be alone.
The Tzu Chi Lantern recycling station in Nantou's Puli has a large number of PET bottles for recycling, with the station averaging around 1.2 tons of plastic bottles per month. We see how the station came up with a solution to deal with this problem.
Every month, the Tzu Chi Lantern recycling station collects 1.2 tons of PET bottles.
About 1.2 to 1.3 tons, about 170 to 180 of those bags. It takes 3 to 4 trips to bring everything to Nantou.
Volunteers have been using a borrowed pressure packer once a month, but the number of bottles meant the process required constant manpower, heavy machinery, and hours of work. In order to give the volunteers a more convenient option, Tzu Chi volunteer Li Zhenchen designed a small packing press for exclusive use of the volunteers at the recycling station.
This is the pressure plate. A hydraulic cylinder presses it down. This door opens and items are taken out from here.
One of the biggest problems to overcome was the rebound pressure of the bottles as they were being crushed.
When these 3 rods are inserted, there will be no rebound.
This machine is perfect for us. He is a really smart man. 78-year-old Chen Baiho's work with the pressure packer has given her a sense of accomplishment and helped her get over the loss of her son. The work makes me healthy and happy. Now with their own pressure packer, volunteers can package the PET bottles at their convenience, thus saving on manpower needs and space.
In 2013, Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia introduced the spirit of Tzu Chi's bamboo bank era to the Agung Sedayu group. After learning that their donations will help those in greater need, many employees decided to adopt Tzu Chi's bamboo coin banks. Recently, the volunteers returned to the company for the 4th time to collect employees' filled bamboo banks.
Before heading into the office, employees of Agung Sedayu Group wait patiently for their turn to donate their filled bamboo banks, unafraid that they might be late for work.
I donated coins into my piggy bank. We can't do much with our spare change, but many a little makes a mickle. I believe the money will help the poor and needy significantly. All of us donate a little to our coin banks each day. I believe doing good deeds can eliminate disasters.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia have been spreading the spirit of the bamboo bank era at different corporations on a regular basis. Inspired by Tzu Chi's philosophy, employees of the Agung Sedayu Group have started adopting bamboo coin banks 2 years ago. Today, many have also donated their family members' filled piggy banks.
I think this is a great event. I am a devoted Muslim and Tzu Chi is a Buddhist organization, but I can still donate my money to the organization. Tzu Chi volunteers have crossed religious boundaries to help the poor and needy. The purpose of asking employees to donate their piggy banks is not only to raise money, but also to inspire goodness in them. By encouraging these employees to donate a little every day, we hope to inspire them to join our ranks someday.
Despite the differences in faith, in the years to come, the concept that love is boundless will continue to spread at the Agang Sedekyu group.
Jinhua Bookstore, which had been in business for 34 years in Tainan, closed down yesterday. To make his retirement a meaningful one, the bookstore's owner has decided to personally donate the unsold children's books to 13 elementary schools in remote areas of Tainan.
Customers kept calling and coming to the 34-year-old Jinhua bookstore in Tainan because they could not believe that it is closing down. Some loyal customers still have trouble accepting the cruel reality, but the shelves of the store have been mostly emptied, with the remaining unsold children's books to be donated.
I'm sending the remaining books to schools, including an entire shelf of dictionaries. If I do not take my wife out and make her happy now, I'm afraid it will be too late.
Mr. Shen plans to focus on the happiness of his wife, whose health is deteriorating and therefore needs a break. Having managed the shop for 34 years, she's looking forward to doing some traveling, even if it's just in Tainan City.
Tainan is wonderful and it takes time to explore all the places. There are many hidden surprises even in some small alleyways. I learned these from our books.
The old bookstore is closing down for the happiness of Mr. Shen's loved ones. 13 elementary schools in remote areas will also benefit from the process, as the couple will be making a special delivery personally, which makes this retirement a meaningful one.
The Tzu Chi Collegiate Youth Clubs of Tzu Chi University and the Oriental Institute of Technology have come together to organize a beach cleanup over the weekend. Not only was it a good opportunity for new recruits to get to know about the clubs and club members, it was just wonderful to enjoy a day out under the sun by Taiwan's beautiful beaches. In just one day, they scoured through nearly 360 meters of the Fulong Beach and packed up 20 bags of garbage.
The Fulong Beach is a famous tourist attraction in northeastern Taiwan. However, these young college students are not here for water activities today. By scouring through the golden sand, they discover all kinds of garbage, such as paper cups, fish nets, and even shoes and styrofoam buoys.
This is my first ever beach cleanup. I'm surprised by how much garbage there is. Our bags quickly filled up.
The beach seems clean from a distance, but only by drawing closer do you realize that garbage is hidden beneath the sand.
The beach cleanup was organized by the Tzu Chi Collegiate Youth Club of Shijian University and Oriental Institute of Technology and includes this year's new recruits.
Though the work is simple, you will surely learn something by doing it. By spending our weekends on doing something meaningful can bring about changes in our lives.
Learning through giving, these young people have learned to cherish this beautiful scenery even more after a day's work.
At the end of today's program, we join a photo exhibition held at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, featuring photos of the hospital staff interacting with elderly patients. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.